Alright everyone, welcome to the first disc golf video on my YouTube channel. This is a little bit different from the usual Rocket League or whatever video game I might be playing. I'm going to be playing the green layout of the Campgaw Reservation. This is in Mahwah, New Jersey. First hole, relatively simple. It's like a chip hyzer forehand. I didn't really nail it. I don't have the greatest forehand. As you can see, it's a bit short here. I threw a brand new Glow Pro Pig, one of the Wysocki Tour Series ones. I'm absolutely loving the Pig for my game. Like I said, I don't have a great forehand, but it kind of helps because they're not super overstable, but they dump out when they need to, and I'm still learning. So I got like a outside a circle putt. I decided to jump it, hit the top band. It's one you want back. It's definitely a, I don't want to call it a gimme birdie. For most players, it probably is a gimme birdie, but not for me, apparently. Yeah, so we're taking the par on hole 1. Not awful. I mean, at least it's not a bogey. Hole 2, one of my favorite holes here. It's just a straight shot. Just leave it let it get stable. Throwing a Neo Instinct. Hung it out a little high and right, but the ground over there is real hard, so you always get a nice skip towards the basket. So this is probably 20-something feet. Pretty easy putt, a lot closer than the last one. I definitely want to get one back after parring hole 1, which is a relatively easy hole. And of course I hit the band, 2 for 2. It's the face of a very disappointed gentleman. So I'm tapping in a par here. Hole 3 is, I have kind of a love-hate relationship with this hole. It kind of allows you to really get a nice drive out there. So I throw this C-line TD, nice and understable disc, but as you can see, I really don't get over on it, and it just kind of goes dead straight. A little bit early, I'd say, too, maybe some hyzer. So I'm left on the left side, which is definitely better. It's just more airspace on the right and in the middle of the fairway to actually be able to get something there. So here I'm lining up this Pro Pig shot, the Glow Pro Pig. I have 2. This one's more overstable, and then right there you can see I realize there's a lot of space to the right. So I grab my other Pig that I have in the bag. It's just a not Wysocki stamp, just a regular R Pro Pig. It's a little less stable. And this is a shot I've been practicing a lot lately, is these little flick turnover forehands. And it's a good thing I went with that, because that is about like 7 feet long, which is I'd rather take that than whatever was going to happen with that more overstable Pig. So hole 3 for me is one I've never birdied, so I just kind of like to get the 3 and just move on, just get to the next hole. There's a lot of birdie chances out here, and hole 3 is just not one for me, so I don't even really try. Hole 4. So typically I would take something understable, normally a rock 3, and take the left gap right around here. But last time I was here, I absolutely nailed that gap, and I'm going to go for that one today. But I kind of messed up my run-up, stepped on the wood there at the end of the tee pad, and threw it into the first tree. So not looking good here on the first 4 holes. Able to get away with some pars, but it's just annoying to throw right into the first tree, especially when typically I've done something different. But you'll see here in this video, I'm going to say that a lot. I typically don't go with the plays that I'm going with, but I was just feeling different today. I don't know. I mean, I did nail that gap the last time I was here. Felt good, so I went for it again. And it's another Art Pro pig, the less stable one. Just a pretty simple upshot. I gave it a little too much turn. I wanted to give it some because I know it's overstable and it'll dump back to the right. But I mean, this is like a 10, 12 foot putt that I'm really not going to miss ever. So it's fine. Got the par. Again, just pars all day apparently for me. Hole number 5. It's another less than 200 foot shot. There's like 3 different gaps here. There's to the left of the trees there's in between the trees, there's to the right of the trees. I go with the P Model S putter because I love the way this thing flies for this hole. It just goes dead straight and has a nice right drift. So I get this one out there a bit left, and it just doesn't really get over how I know I can get it. I didn't really get over it. So I'm left with this long putt. So I normally putt with soft P-line P2s, especially in the woods. But here I'm lining this up with a D-line P2 because it's a little more firm. And let's be honest, nobody wants a soft P in their hand when you can have a nice firm D in your hand. Hole 6 is another one of like probably my top 3 or 4 favorite holes at this course. It's just another dead straight, let it hyzer out. So I throw something that is slightly understable, but I just don't throw it as hard as I can. I was watching some pro coverage once, and I don't remember who said it. I don't remember who they said it about, but instead of picking a different disc, just throw it like 60 or 70% power, and you'll get a different result out of the same disc. Like maybe it feels better in your hand. You don't want to throw something faster or slower. So instead of disking down to a mid-range there, I just stick with the FD. It feels better in the hand. And we get our first birdie because of it. So as you can see there, I'm relieved to finally get my first birdie. I mean, I've had a lot worse scores and a lot better scores at this point in this course, but I really should be like 3 down at this point, but I'm not. But it feels good to get that first birdie, get the ball rolling here. Alright, hole 7 is a pretty tough hole. I'm going with the Star Rock, trying to keep it nice and straight and flat, but I just throw it right up into the sky, into those trees. It knocks it down. I get a good kick. At least I'm in the open middle of the fairway here, so I can line up one of my my pig shots. I got weird footing. I didn't feel comfortable standing with my left foot forward, so I stood flat and next to it. I'm just trying to get this one. The basket is right around here somewhere, and I'm just trying to keep this one flat, smooth it right under that last tree, and again, I just threw it way, way too high. Something about this hole today, I just was throwing up. So we're left with this putt here on the right side to try to salvage a par. And I'm lining up the soft P-line P2 as usual, but I have this really beat-in AVR. It's like 166 grams. And it holds a nice turn, and I like to use it if I have to bend something left to right around. And I give it a run, but it's just too floppy and fluttery, and I never really gave it a chance. So we're going to be taking a bogey on hole 7, as per usual, for my rounds here at least. In classic disc golf fashion, we are taking a bogey after the first birdie of the round, so that doesn't feel good, but see if we can make up for it on the back 9 at some point, because hole 8 is not a birdie for me. Hole 8, I was lining up the C-line TD to maybe do like a turnover forehand or something, but then I was like, you know what? I think it's going to flip too much. Let me get something overstable. So I whip out this 14-speed Star Corvette, which does not belong in my wimpy noodle arm. I pretty much throw it as hard as I can on some anhyzer, and I completely lost it. I had no idea where it went. But as you'll see here, walking up, I found it. I was just filming to kind of show how steep it was and maybe capture me slipping or falling put something funny in the video, but oh, that's right. I did almost fall. I did almost fall. Okay. Well, here's my lie anyway, and it got way up there. It was actually better than I thought. It hit some trees, so I think it kind of stopped it from turning too much to the left. And here I have a pretty long putt slash approach shot here, obstructed footing. I'm kind of lining up the glow pig shot again, thinking about the knee, but it was just too rocky. It hurt immediately. So I'm looking now. You'll see I look down to my right here and realize the footing is a bit better. I'm kind of worried about throwing and having my momentum fall to the right, and I don't want to fall back down the hill and die for a disc golf video on my YouTube channel. So I take the backhand upshot approach, lining up with that same beat-in AVR, and I put it about 8 or 10 feet long. Pretty happy with it considering. Easy tap in. That's a par. Hole 9, another love-hate relationship hole. It's a short, dead straight shot basically. And if you hit any of these trees and go left, you're going back down the mountain. But I kind of nailed it. So that feels really good. And I have maybe a 15-foot putt here. Usually, I don't know, usually I kind of throw scared, but I just kind of lined it up, didn't want to think about it too much. And I grabbed the old D-line P2 and just ripped it pretty straight. Turned it over a little too much, but I mean, not going to complain about a birdie there. Okay, it's time for the back 9 here. We're going into the back 9, 1 down, which is not great, but not bad. I've had way worse scores going into the back 9. So hole 10 is pretty straight to hyzer, like a lot of these holes out here. I don't really get a good rip on this MD3 here. I'm kind of in between discs on that one. I used to throw drivers and just let them hyzer out because it's better to be left down here at the bottom of the hill somewhere than it is to go too straight. I mean, too straight's not awful, but the MD3 kicks out left here. We don't have the worst lie. I have kind of an open, long jump putt. And even with my sick dance moves here, I don't really give that one a chance. Put it a little bit too high. Easy tap in for the 3, and like many holes out here today, we're walking away with a par. Just taking a little break here on hole 11. Needed to get a couple granola bars in me, drink some water. It was really hot yesterday when I filmed this, so trying to make sure I don't pass out and die in the middle of the woods. Alright, we're at hole 11. It's a very nice hole. Pretty much a dead straight mid-range or a driver. You can throw a backhand and just have it go perfectly straight. I'm opting for the forehand. I'm aiming for this gap here. It's tighter, but the risk reward is a bit better. But I don't execute. It was kind of a good throw. It was just missing the line. The left down by the basket is a lot more open, and it's also flatter. Instead, I have this rocky kind of steppy, poorly imitating Chris Dickerson step putt, jump putt thing, which is probably a foot fault for all I know. And left it a little bit long, but this is another putt, like, I don't know, 10 feet. I'm probably not going to miss this. It was a bit high, if I'm honest. Here, I swear I thought I saw, like, something run past back where my last lie was, and I felt really scared for a second. I thought it was a skunk, because I just saw something black, but I think it was just a shadow of my disc flying through the air. Anyway, so hole 12 here. Hole 12 is probably the easiest hole on the course. It's just a little pitch hyzer. Um, for lefties, maybe not so much if they don't have a forehand, but for a right hand backhand, this is one you should get every single time. And just like that, dead straight, give it some hyzer. I love the instinct for this hole because it's not as hard as like champion plastic, but it's got a little grip to it, so it doesn't quite skip as much on the rocks here. So there I was lining up the straddle putt, but then I realized there was probably enough room for me to get my regular staggered stance in there. It was a little awkward with this tree next to my hip, but I should make this putt every time, and it was just not great out of my hands. It was too low. It's one of the ones you just want back as soon as you let go of it. And it's the face of a very, very sad human being. It's for being probably the easiest hole on the course, it should be a birdie every time for me, even though I haven't been playing for that long. But see if we could turn it around in these last few holes. Hole 13, we have a pretty dead straight and then just kind of let it fall out of the air shot, like kind of let it stall. I used to do a mid-range here and just kind of let it fade out, but they were fading too much or going long. So this is an S-line P2. Out of my hand, I thought it was bad, but it missed every branch and tree on that little low ceiling there and kind of just fell out of the sky to about 10 or 12 feet. Easy putt, easy birdie. And you can hear there's some type of large bird in the sky giving me a nice shot or a good putt, so I had to give him some thanks. Alright, hole 14 is kind of a straight, like flat forehand to let it dump out to the right. That's what normal people do, but that's what I do. I turn it over too much and throw it into the woods on the left and give myself a really annoying upshot. What I'm trying to do is throw something slightly understable on a little bit of anhyzer and let it stable up and float back, because it's kind of like an S shot, but starting at the bottom of the S, so you have to go around to the right, then left, and then hyzer out right, but that is not what I did. It was not well executed. So I just have a fairly routine pro pig turnover shot. I'm not happy with that, as you can see. It's just well short. It hit some leaves and kind of died early. So I have this nicely framed up putt. I thought it looked cool. I have the camera right behind me. I really wanted to get this one. And it was just off out of my hand. It barely nicked the right side of the cage, but it wasn't very close. Didn't feel good about that one. Oh, I realized I forgot a disc back at one of the earlier holes. So I ran back to get it, and I saw a dog. He was friendly. So another bogey on 14 puts me back at 1 under, which is still not great, but I'm going to try to turn it around on this hole because I've been throwing this one really, really well lately. I have my D-line P2, which I absolutely nailed the line with on hole number 9. Just trying to throw it as straight as possible and then let it fall out of the air right at the end. And I got a little lucky there. I went through that really tight gap on the right when I'm absolutely not trying to hit that. It's supposed to go straight through the middle. Because as you can see now, I have kind of a long putt outside the circle. And if I would have hit the gap I was looking for, I'd be, I don't know, what, 5-10 feet away maybe? So I got lucky there. I really want to nail this putt because I just had a bogey. So I want to turn this around. The last couple holes are not the easiest, so I really want to nail this one. And I'm fired up. That was such a good putt. I was so happy to make that. That one felt really good. The whole way I kind of knew it was in, but I didn't want to react or anything or say anything stupid to the camera on my first ever disc golf video. So I waited for that one to drop in before I celebrated. Now, hole 16 is a beautiful hole. A nice sweeping left to right turnover shot. Throwing the P Model S again. Absolutely pured it. I'm calling for this to get in the hole because if it looked really good at one point. Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah, that one felt super good. I used to go with like a turnover like DX rock shot. Sometimes I'll go for the like a Thunderbird shot, but the forehand for me dumps too early and then skips away from the basket. So the P Model S lines up really, really nicely. And as you can see, we got the birdie, so good thing I threw that instead of something else. Hole 17 is the signature hole out here, I would say, at least for the green layout. It's just a dead straight, super high up putter or mid-range. For me, it's definitely a putter. I'm lining up here. I'm in between the really flippy AVR and this D-line P2. But after 15 and 9, I really nailed the D-line P2. And I'm feeling really good because that is pretty perfect by my standards. Typically, I'll hyzer out left or hit a tree and ping somewhere. But, I mean, if you gave me this look every single time, I might make that putt 1, 2, 3 times out of 10. But I'm pretty happy I didn't hit any trees and I got all the way down cleanly. So now here I'm just lining up this long putt, and I didn't really give it a chance. I didn't really get under it on the flip towards the basket. But I'm not too far here, and I'm feeling really good after that big putt. So looking at this, I didn't feel like I could even miss it. Absolutely perfect. Bottom of the basket. Yeah, not too often am I 3 down going into hole 18, but I'm feeling really good right now here. Typically, I might throw either the P Model S or maybe a mid-range on this one, but I've been absolutely destroying lines with this D-line P2. I don't even line it up for that long, and I absolutely rip it dead straight. That might be my best drive on this hole ever. Yeah, and that's pretty parked. That's about 10 feet away. And as per tradition for my rounds, I like to make all 3 putters to make sure it really counts. That's 1, that's 2, and this one's for Brody Smith. Yikes, okay. Even though we missed the close range scuba, I'm still really happy with that round. Typically, I'm over par, so I'm really happy being 4 under. Feels really good. Yeah, there you go. Wipe the sweat off your forehead with that disgusting hand.
Alright, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, thank you. I know I'm not very good, so please be gentle in the comments. I can handle what you guys throw at me, but you know, I've been playing for like 10 months, 11 months, and I feel good about how I played today. So, like I said, thanks for watching. Feel free to say whatever you like down below, and I guess see you the next time I decide to do this. Also, watch my other videos. I'm pretty funny.